Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me. And I am back. Yes, I am back with the finale of What If Isagi had a perfect copycat weapon. I know y'all been enjoying the series, and I know y'all been enjoying these Blue Lock What Ifs, and I appreciate all the support. I love it. I love seeing how well they're doing. I love seeing how well Blue Lock is doing. And frankly, I've been really enjoying these what ifs. So continue to show support, and we'll continue to get them. With that said, if you enjoy, like I said, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, and let's get right into the what if. Let's get it. Yoichi Isagi. Now it's time for his next challenge. After working out, training, and getting preparations, frankly, his body is in kind of peak condition. And now he feels absolutely ready to utilize all his skills or his weapons that he has copied throughout this time. From someone like Nagi, the prodigy, and his crazy ball control, to someone like Kunigami, being able to strike and shoot from crazy distances. Someone like Bachira, someone who is able to use his dribbling to absolutely stun defenders. Isagi is able to use it all. And he's excited to continue to use it all. But his first step to getting to the next selection would be Blue Lock Man. Blue Lock Man is more or less a holographic test, but this hologram has perfect interaction with the football. And in terms of shooting goals on it, it is extremely difficult. But they have to score 100 goals on this on different levels, and eventually capping out at the max level, Isagi has to score 100 goals in 90 minutes. And I wouldn't say this would be that difficult. Isagi has a ton of weapons to allow him to score goals, but it would be a lot less in terms of weaponry. It would be a lot less compared to the other weapons he has. He has more speed, he has dribbling, he has ball control, he has vision. And all of these things, yes, may help in the long run, but doesn't help necessarily right now. But still, he's able to power through it, even with his slight lack in strength at the moment. But still, he's feeling that his strength is increasing with all of the abilities and new weapons he's been able to gain throughout this time. With that said, he would get his 100 goals, and he would leave in no time, ready for whatever's to come. And as he walks in, he sees something that says the second selection. An explanation will be played saying that the second selection consists of matches in groups. There will be matches 3v3 to start. If you lose, well then one of you on that team will be picked by the other team, and the other two would go down to the 2v2s. But if you lose a 2v2 and let's say you don't get picked up, well, then you're eliminated from Blue Lock entirely. Isagi immediately can start thinking about who he should pick up and who he should go with. As he walks in, he sees many people. He continues to consider who he should actually go with, and frankly, at this point, Isagi would be one of the top players in Blue Lock. Flat out from his scoring prowess, and on top of that, just the assists he's gotten throughout this time. And his number would definitely show that. But still, he would look around and eventually would spot Nagi. But then just as he spots him, he would be jumped on by Bachira. Bachira would ask if he wants to team up, and basically be a 3v3 team. Maybe they can wait for Kunigami or Chiguri or something like that. And Isagi would more or less think this is a good idea. Basically talking to Bachira and thinking that this would be for the best because their chemistries already have, well, really good interactions. Bachira's passing is absolutely elite, his dribbling is amazing, and frankly, Isagi himself is able to mimic all of those, even to a greater degree, and Bachira will continue to evolve. But just as they're thinking about this, someone would walk up to them, Nagi himself. Nagi would walk up, saying that he wants to join their team, or that he wants Isagi specifically to join their team, in which it's obviously Reo and Nagi. in which Isagi says that unfortunately he already has a person in Bachira, so he can't. And Nagi would think about this for a second and then immediately ask if he can join their team. Ryo would be confused and would ask why he's doing that. I mean, come on, they're supposed to be a team, right, Nagi? And Nagi says that he wants to play with Isagi. That back when they were in high school together, when they were playing, well, in games, they didn't see what Isagi was truly made of. And during that game when they went against them, it was obvious how much better Isagi is than both of them. And Nagi says that he feels that Isagi can bring him to the next level. And of course Isagi would say that they're buddies to the very end. He doesn't want any hard feelings from Ryo, but at the end of the day, he's built a bond with Bachira. He can't just drop him. He apologizes for that, but he tells Ryo that there's something within him that he needs to find, and maybe being alone is going to be the way to find it. The argument would still mildly ensue, but eventually the three of them, Nagi, Isagi, and Bachira, would walk through the doors. Nagi would tell Isagi that he feels bad for Ryo, that they could have been the trio that they were in high school and what they were doing before. But Isagi apologizes, and he says that Bachira is a hell of a player, someone that could help us evolve even more, and someone that he's grown quite fond of throughout this time. Bachira would smack his buddy on the back of the head, and he would say that he doesn't have to say such grateful things about him. That if anyone has done insanely good things for all of them, it's been Isagi. But Isagi shakes his head and says that he's been using all of them as a tools to get better. Just because they've gotten better because of him doesn't make him a person to actively try to make them better. But as long as they get better, he gets better. They all evolve together. And Nagi would hear this and he would think that it's amazing. That he would think that this is exactly what he wanted, exactly what he needs. He wants to evolve. Excitement would flow through his entire body. Excitement to get better and be like Isagi. But be his own player, be his own football player. They would eventually reach the doors and they would see one team. And that team, well, would be some of the top players in Blue Lock. And of course, this would be a conversation. Would they want to just, well, wait for some other teams to come? I mean, they could just wait and they would probably get an easier matchup. Or they could take on Rin, Jubei, and Tokumitsu. And flat out, Isagi says that if Nagi wants to evolve, taking on the best is where they all need to be. Isagi says that it's going to be a matchup that is going to be difficult, but he promises that throughout this game, win or lose, they will evolve to an extent unimaginable. They would approach their team and Rin would coldly look at Isagi, but as he looks at him, he would see the number on his shoulder, and he would see that maybe this guy is going to be somewhat of a challenge, but at the same time, he's going to just be a spectator on his journey to being the best. Isagi likes the grit in Rin's eyes. There's something behind those eyes that he wants to know. Something behind his mind itself. Isagi says that he challenges them to their first match. And of course, Rin would accept. They would arrive on the field, and it would be a smaller field to compensate for the fact that it's 3v3. And immediately, when Isagi would get the ball first, he would show off exactly what he's capable of. He would be dribbling just like how Bachira would be, but let's be honest, not as creative, but it's still almost unstoppable. He would immediately bolt by Rin, and this would be the first time he's seen someone dribble like this, but he doesn't even realize that someone else on their team can dribble like this as well. Rin would try to keep up, and he would to an extent, but Isagi would begin to pull away, and he would be shocked. How is he running so fast? Wait, no, it's as if his strides are changing. And Rin would see this and would try to adjust. Well, if his strides are like that, well then he'll cut him off in a different direction, and he'll cut him off in a different way. But soon, Isagi would look him off and pass it toward Bachira. Bachira easily scoring, getting past his defender in Tokumitsu, and the first goal would go to them. Rin would see all of this happening, and he would tell Isagi that he'll soon lose the upper hand. He might think he has it now, but he won't forever. But as he lines up, and everyone lines up, it seems that Rin is getting ready to shoot a goal off of the kickoff. And as he goes for this, out of nowhere, Isagi would go jumping to the air. As Rin would see this, he would kick the ball, but it would hit Isagi directly in the head, and he would pin it back toward Nagi. Rin would be shocked. How did he know that he was going to do that? But Isagi, his movement while he's on offense, it's not like that. It's not. He has a realization. Maybe Isagi can see the field as well, but in a different way. And that's exactly what it is. Even Isagi doesn't realize it at this moment. In terms of defensively, he can see things very similar to Rin, but just more on the defensive side of the ball. Rin would need to have this realization in his brain, but soon he would see that Nagi has the ball, and it seems as if he's making his way down the field relatively easily. Isagi would begin cutting across the field at insane speeds, as if he's mimicking quickness from someone he's seen. Eventually, he would receive the ball, but instead of gathering it himself, he would let it roll. It would roll straight to Bachira, and, well, Rin would read this, immediately going to Bachira to stop him, but quickly Bachira would do a tap pass right back to Isagi, and Rin would be confused. Is he being overwhelmed? No, this is ridiculous. But Isagi would score, and it would be 2-0. A smirk would grow over his face, and, well, this smirk would never fade away. A seriousness, but at the same time, a smile that would more or less be intimidating. He's excited, he's evolving, and all he's seeing is more people to copy. He sees the playstyle of Junpei, and quickly he would realize it because Rin would utilize his height and jumping abilities to try and take some sort of advantage. And eventually he would see the perks of Tokumitsu, the strength, the quickness, and the reaction time that he has. It seems as if Tokumitsu is able to just recover on everything. So it's kind of intimidating in a way. It's a broad range of what they can do, but at the same time, Atoshi Rin is like a puppet master. He's controlling the field, and quickly and eventually, once he starts getting everyone involved, it becomes an issue for Isagi to stop, and his smirk would never go away. They would then be up 2-1 after a score from Junpei, and Rin would immediately comment, why is Isagi still smirking? They're only up 1, and it's obvious that his defensive abilities are falling behind slowly but surely as more people are getting involved. But Isagi says that the more goals they score, the greater he sees, and the more things for him to devour. And Rin would be put back by this. What the hell is wrong with this guy? But Nagi would look toward Rin as well, and it's as if his eyes are sparking, as if the prodigy is having just his fun amped to 11, and a revolution in his skills is on the verge of a break. Isagi would gain the ball one more time, and he would immediately begin to move it toward Nagi's side. Nagi would be covered by a taller and lengthier and someone that jumps higher than him, but his ball control and body blockout may be the advantage they need. A chip toward Nagi. Nagi would immediately jump in the air, jumping with Junpei, but this time around, he's almost on the same level. He would gather the ball, and Junpei would try to recover, but it's not that simple. Nagi would immediately chip it toward a direction that he's able to recover it himself, and Rin would read the situation, trying to block Nagi from doing anything. But as Nagi is basically running down the field, he looks for a pass. He would basically connect with the ball on his foot, but as he connects with the ball on his foot to make a pass, he actually controls the ball, baiting Rin into jumping the pass, and the ball doesn't even move. He made a pass look like a fake, even though he swung his leg as hard as he could. but when he swung his leg as hard as he could, he gathered it with the tip of his toe, and immediately he would go right back into dribbling the ball up the field, passing by Rin, and eventually scoring a goal himself. Now they're up 3-1. Nagi would smirk as Isagi would still be smiling as he looks toward Nagi, knowing that he's already evolved faster than anyone could have possibly imagined. The next goal would be Rin looking to expose any weaknesses he can possibly find. But quickly, he would realize the advantages they had before don't exist anymore. It's as if the competition that they brought to Isagi's doorstep is counterintuitive for their victory. And it's obvious, Rin has to be more unpredictable. They have to wait. He has a realization. Tokumitsu in strength, they haven't realized that. The strength and speed that he has, he might be able to take it on his own. Rin would kind of antagonize Tokumitsu, saying that he does nothing and he hasn't done anything, eventually passing it to him, and he would blitz by Bachira, muscling his way through. Isagi would think that this must be their plan. Muscle, and it's obvious. They tried to use that with Junpei in terms of height and length and jumping ability. So they're trying to expose certain weaknesses. Isagi would recover, and as he recovers toward Tokumitsu, he would try to steal the ball. But Tokumitsu would, in his unorthodox way, would get by Isagi. He would be confused. He hasn't ever really dealt with someone that's as small as him, but kind of like a little wrecking ball. Nagi would come sliding in though, as the ball would be mid-air for a goal, and Nagi would try to tip it. And he does get a foot on it, but it still goes in, making the score 3-2. Isagi would think that Rin is evolving. It seems that his mindset for the game not only is evolving, but his vision is as well. He's trying to find holes in the vision that Isagi is currently trying to develop himself. This defensive vision that he hasn't perfected yet, and he's finding holes in them because Isagi lacks knowledge on all of them. And this is an issue. But there's one thing Isagi saw, and one thing Rin isn't going to expect. On kickoff, Isagi looks at Rin and says that there's a reason why he's here. He's here to devour all of them, and he's here to perfectly copy every last one of them, so that they will never be special. He immediately would kick the ball on kickoff. Rin tries to react to it. Junpei tries to jump up high to block it, but it's as if it soars right above their heads. They look at it and they think, there is no way in hell that makes it. That's going to soar over the goal. But that's not the case. It doesn't soar over the goal. It knuckles out and it drops in just in the right above the goalkeeper or blue lock man. And everyone stands there. No way. How did he do that? How is that even possible? 4-2. Yeah, they're up 2 goals on this team, and frankly, Rin is trying to find his way around. He's trying to find a way to not allow them to score, because defensively, that's the issue right now. How was he going to develop? How is he going to change this? But soon, he would realize that there is no changing it. Isagi has developed too much, and Nagi has almost become unguardable, at least in the realm of what they are right now. But at the same time, Isagi draws so much attention to himself that it's as if, well, it's almost impossible to deal with. It's kind of a daunting task. Rin begins to think to himself that he can't do it, but he needs to do it. He needs to beat his brother. He needs to show him that he's so much better. He needs to prove to everybody in Blue Lock that he's the best, that it's undoubtable, undeniable. But it's obvious. He's not the best. Maybe statistically, maybe based on whatever algorithm of goals and assists Ego was going by, maybe he was the best. But there's a new sheriff in town. There's a new person that is going to take the throne. And it's someone that can see everything and copy at a whim. Isagi would watch as Rin's team would fail. Their outlets, their ideas, all of it would fall short, and they would eventually win 5-2. Against a powerhouse team like that, it seemed as if there was no way they could have done it. But Isagi would look toward Rin and would be smiling still. With a massive smirk on his face, he would tell Rin that the more strength, the more power, the more strategy, the more skills, and the more weapons that are on the field, the better. Because if he sees them, he'll copy them, and he'll perfect them, and he'll even perfect what Rin is capable of faster than he can. And Rin would stare at him as if he's staring at a monster, a freak. What is wrong with this guy? And even Nagi is shocked to see how much he's enjoying this. Shocked to see how much Isagi is enjoying what he's doing. But it's the truth. The truth of it is that Isagi has expanded to another level, has led himself to the peak of the mountain. Isagi would smile and he would tell them all that he's choosing Rin, that there is no conversation. So Rin would join their team and he would walk with Isagi toward the next room. They would speak and they would have words about what occurred, what he did wrong, and Rin wouldn't want to hear any of it, but Isagi would force him to hear things that he has to say, especially when he basically joins Rin in all of the workouts and the regimen he does. Rin, frustrated by this, saying that doesn't he have his own workout regimen, doesn't he have his own way of training and so on? But Isagi says no. He says that he assumes that he's just that much more gifted than Rin, in which Rin would be frustrated by this and tell him to shut up. As they continue training, it seems as if Rin is feeding off Isagi. Now it's time for him to devour Isagi. He knows that Isagi has made these people so much better. He's seen Bachira, the way he plays, what he's done so far. He's seen the others, but he needs to continue developing, continue getting better, stronger, faster, and so on. But still, it's so confusing to him. How else could he do it? What else could he do? With that in mind, and with more or less that idea kind of on the back burner now, they're finally ready to take on their last match. And frankly, there isn't many people that could stand up and attempt to even beat this group. And when the first team of 4 shows up, isn't anybody that much different. Let's just say it's not gonna go very well. It's Junpei, it's Tokumitsu, it's Baro, and it's Chiguri. Yes, the speed of Chiguri may become an issue and may be something hard to deal with. But with the eyes of Rin, with the eyes of Isagi, with Bachira's unorthodox playing style, and Nagi's extreme evolution in ball control, and now his ability to pass and make it look as if, well, it's a guaranteed pass. Let's just say this match isn't going to be that easy. Rin, throughout this time though, wants to evolve, wants to get stronger, better. So he wants to make sure that he soaks in as much as possible. And Isagi stands in the background, absorbing, watching. He wants to see how much Chiguri, how much all of these others have evolved, changed, and gone their separate ways. And during this time, Rin would take over. The kickoff start would lead to an instant goal from Isagi's team, and soon Isagi would watch as Rin allows the entire team to flow. He allows Rin to take forefront because he feels like when he comes out from the shadows is where he'll truly thrive. And that's exactly what he does. Rin would see things open up even wider. It's as if the possibilities were endless when he was on Isagi's team. And quickly, that would be reality. Isagi would get the ball passed to him, and it was as if there were multiple tunnels. millions of different ways for them to score. And really, the only issue was shutting down Chiguri, the speed that Chiguri had, and frankly, Bado's ego in itself and his want to be the main character would hurt their team dramatically. But Isagi would watch as their team would destroy the other team. Isagi would continue to watch as Rin evolves and as they subsede all expectations to a large extent. But at the end of the day, a choice needs to be made. Who will they choose? Who will Isagi, Rin, and Bachira and Nagi choose? And frankly, this choice might be odd, and it might be one that would confuse everybody. The obvious choice would be someone like Chiguri. I mean, the speed, the blazing speed, is undeniable. And frankly, his speed would become something of, well, legend. But it's as if Isagi sees something in someone else there. And he would tell Rin that someone here is as starving as himself, is as hungry as him. And Rin would be confused. What the hell is he even talking about? Seriously, this guy talks in such weird ways. And Isagi would look toward them and ask if he could make the pick, if they don't mind. Rin would just sigh and walk away, saying that he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't care, as long as they get on with this. Isagi would look toward Bado, and he would point toward him. He says that he sees something in Bado. A villain king that is dormant. A lion that is ready to devour, but needs to wait and learn patience. Bachira would laugh as he would say that Isagi says that he's not doing things for other people, and that he's not helping others to help them, but to better himself. But what it sounds like to him is that he's saying that he wants to help Bado, in which Isagi would laugh at this and he would say, yeah, he understands his thought process, but for some reason he can feel that Bado's untapped potential is unmeasurable, that he's this future villain lord of the field, and soon he needs to allow the lion to pounce and allow the lion to devour. He would then tell Bado that he needs to allow himself to devour everyone on the field. So he'll pick him. In doing this, well, Bado would be confused. He would be wondering why he would do this. They obviously saw that he didn't work well with the team, but Isagi says that's exactly what he counts on. He's unorthodox, but at the same time, he needs to be patient. Very patient. And eventually, this idea would come to the forefront when the 5 of them would take on their next challenge. And that would be the World 5. The World 5 would consist of some heavy hitters. Some heavy hitters that would feel as if they were completely outclassing Blue Lock. And frankly, to an extent, they would be. But Rin getting his first goal against the World 5 would give him some confidence, especially after all the trash talk he did. But Isagi would be standing there, watching, devouring. All he wants to do is see the World 5 in action. That's what he needs. He needs to see what they're good at. He needs to see everything they're capable of, from their speed, their abilities to strike, their power, strength, abilities to jump, mold, watch. Yes, everything. Everything. He needs to see it all. And eventually he would. He would watch as their team may lose to the World 5, but he would devour every last thing. Eventually the score would be 4-1, and Isagi would stand there and Rin would yell at him, telling him to get his head in the damn game. He wants to win, right? And Isagi would look at him. Win? Rin, you thought we could win? Come on. Are you really an idiot? Don't be dumb. This game is all for our evolution. In which, of course, the other team, the World 5, would look at them and be like, well, the kid's right. There is no way he can win. But evolve? What? You're going to evolve after an ass whooping? How are you going to do that? Isagi would smirk, and he would say that he's going to show them stuff that they've never even seen before. And quickly, off the pitch and off the bat, Isagi would use the combination of dribbling from Bachira, the movement of Chiguri, and many other things in his arsenal, and soon they would realize that it was extremely hard to stop this guy. But one person can't beat them alone. One person can't. And then out of nowhere, well, one of the World 5 is guarding Isagi. It's as if a lion roars from behind them, and a lion takes the ball. Isagi would smirk. I knew you were coming. And Bado would take the ball, and it's as if the villain king has been awakened, taking the ball, and immediately he would score another goal, putting them up 4-2. Isagi would laugh, and he would say that they may think that he's just given up, that he was just giving up in general, that he wasn't trying, but he's been downloading this entire time. He puts his hand to his head, the side of his head, as he points two fingers, as if he's pointing a gun toward his head, saying that his brain, his eyes, everything about him works better than all of them. But the only issue is that he's still downloading, that his internet speed isn't as fast. But soon, he'll surpass all of them, quicker than they would possibly imagine. Isagi would give efforts in terms of defending them from getting the last goal, but they would score, leading the World 5 to winning 5-2. But even after that win, they would be shocked at Isagi, the way he's acting, what he's able to do, and as if he knew exactly how that goal would be fulfilled. Rin would push Isagi, saying that they could have won as long as he just put the pedal to the metal. If he actually tried, they could have won. Maybe they could have gave him openings. They could have gave, but Isagi would wave his finger. They couldn't have. There's no way they would have won against them. That was not the goal in all of this. He needs to realize that, and realize that quickly. Isagi would be serious, but then a smile would grow back on his face, and he would begin laughing. This is fantastic. I'm so glad I came here. Isagi would watch as the World 5 would walk out, and even the World 5 would have a conversation about that kid. Is he a psychopath? Or is he truly the next evolution of soccer? And everybody would leave, and eventually his team would leave as well, waiting for the end of the second selection. And he would sit there, and he would speak to Nagi, Bachira, Rin, and obviously Bado as well. And he would tell them that truly there's something that Blue Lock is truly making. Yes, they're making the greatest striker. Yes, they're making it for Japan, but there's more to it than just that. He would tell all of them. He would say that soon, very soon, something will come. And very soon, they'll get an opportunity to show everyone what they're capable of. Rin is just kind of off-put by Isagi now. I mean, does he always speak like this? I mean, he speaks like a maniac. And Bachira would say that in a way he does, but sometimes he's really nice and really fun to be around. And times like this, he's obsessed with football. So it's kind of fun either way. And Bachira begins laughing, and he begins kind of mimicking Isagi, acting like insane as him, in which Isagi would begin to break out of that mold that he was basically in at that point, and he would begin laughing and talking to them normally once again. Rin would be convinced that this guy is an actual psychopath. He might be able to scan and download the entirety of the field, but there's no way that all of this isn't making him absolutely insane, which it kind of is, but at the same time, it's just his love for soccer and his love for football. But the second selection would finally come to an end, and eventually the announcement of what's to come would arrive, that the U20 match would be upon them very, very soon. But they have things to do before then. As everybody walks in, and as as all the people that passed walk in as well, and everything is secured, they see that Kunigami is nowhere to be found. And unfortunately, he has been eliminated from Blue Lock. But Isagi says that there's nothing to worry about right now, that they need to worry about what's ahead. They need to worry about devouring everybody on the U20 team. And Baro would step aside toward Isagi and put a hand on his shoulder. And he says that he couldn't agree more. And that is the end of What If Isagi Had a Perfect Copycat Weapon. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the series, show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And I hope y'all have an amazing day. Later.